Why aren't more families sitting down to talk retirement? According to a recent Fidelity Investments study, many parents and their adult children are finding it tough to talk about finances and the future. John Sweeney is an executive vice president of personal investing at Fidelity. He joins us this morning to share some common misconceptions around how prepared families are for retirement. Good morning.
Hi, Carly.
So this is interesting. What did this study find?
So we're trying to get at the conversations that aging parents are having with their adult children and trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page about a couple of key issues: A, retirement; B, care; and then C, end of life and estate planning kinds of issues. And we find that, unfortunately, there are misconceptions and disconnects between the generations. And
what are those?
So when we talk about retirement, most of the aging parents expect that they're going to be financially independent. 93% of them said, I do not want to rely upon my adult children for help financially in retirement. However, almost a quarter of the adult children that we surveyed expected to subsidize their parents' retirement in some way, shape, or form. When you get to care, 3/4 of the aging parents had an expectation that one of their children, particularly the eldest child, and most frequently the eldest daughter, was going to provide some measure of care, whether that's swinging by once a weekend, cleaning and cooking dinner, or whether they're actually going to move in with the adult child. There's an expectation there that the adult children don't share, and they don't actually know that their parents are relying on them for that.
I was just going to bring that up.
And then when you get to end-of-life issues like estate planning, you again have a disconnect where the aging parent has an executor of their estate, but they haven't yet identified that adult child and said, I'm expecting you to play this role after I pass away.
Yep, you keep saying that key word, expectation. Obviously, as you said, there is a disconnect. How early do you start talking about this, adult children and their parents? And what's the best way to bring it up? This is something that people get very uncomfortable about when talking about finances.
Absolutely. Finances, but even care and end-of-life issues become very emotional. So it's not surprising to us that people are having trouble having this conversation. You ask about when. So if someone's approaching retirement, certainly you want to, as an adult child, have a conversation with your aging parent and say, are you ready and are you prepared for retirement? If you're already living in retirement, you want to talk about those care issues and say, my life may change. I may have some health decline that will require me to have additional care. What kind of care is expected, and how can you, as an adult child, help me in that? And then certainly the end-of-life issues, you want to have those conversations today so that you're not guessing what mom and dad's wishes might have been after they've already passed away.
Well, and I know families, can be overwhelming too when you're planning for the future. I think families need help. Where do you suggest they turn to get some advice?
So certainly if you need help from a professional, we've got a branch there in Tampa, St. Pete. That's a great place to start and say, I need some help initiating this conversation with my adult children, or if you are the adult child, initiating that conversation with my aging parent. We can do that across geography. So oftentimes you've got people who are not living in the same neighborhood anymore, and so you want to be able to pull them together remotely via a phone call or a video conference to be able to have this conversation when there's not a medical emergency. You can also go to fidelity.com/families, and there's some additional resources there around this survey to be able to help initiate the conversation.
Awesome. John, thank you so much. We got 30 seconds left. A take home as we close up here. What's your message?
Have the conversation today. It's uncomfortable to initiate the conversation, but you're going to feel a whole lot better and a lot more relief down the road. The key objective is to make sure you've got discord between the surviving family members after you've passed away.
Awesome. All right, John, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking some time with us this morning. I hope we help some families out.
Great. Thank you, Carly.